What's going on, guys? So today we have a special video going out for you. We are basically doing live roster update analysis using names from TikTok chat and Twitch chat, basically looking up their stats so you guys can have a better idea whether you guys think those players are going to go up or down in the next roster update. Now, I don't tell you, hey, invest in this person or sell this person or buy this person, because then that gets a lot of backlash. If they don't go up, blame starts coming towards me. That's not how it works. I do the data, I give you the stats. Whether you buy the player, whether you sell the player, whether you hold the player is ultimately up to you, because everyone has their own risk and what they don't want to risk based off their stub count. If you got millions of stubs, maybe you hold a player, versus someone that doesn't have a lot of stubs. They might just sell that player because they need the stubs. So I can't base it off of that. What's up, guys? Be sure you guys check out Control Freaks and Precision Rings at controlfreak.com so you guys can get more control and better precision in MLB The Show 25. And if you guys use code BLOOD at checkout, you get an additional 12% off. And if you spend $25 or more, they also give you free shipping. Anyways, back to the video. So we already did a few names, and we're going to go over the names that we did. And then we're going to start with Kyle Raleigh, I think. Raleigh? Kyle Raleigh. So Kim. Now, Kim doesn't play every game, which is very interesting. But when he does play, he is batting 1,000 against lefties and 3 at-bats, 1 home run. So also, you guys don't know how many at-bats they had, but I just looked him up. 3 at-bats against lefties, like 20-something against righties. Batting .381 against righties, no home runs. Now, he has low power anyways, but we want to see him get boosted versus contact versus lefties, and contact versus righties could get a boost. Do they boost his contact with only 3 at-bats? I don't know. He's also batting .625 with runners in scoring position. I think he's 5 for 6 or something like that. It's crazy. Or 4 for 6, I think. 4 hits and 6 at bats with runners in scoring position. Absolutely kind of crazy. So there's Hong Sung Kim. Jarren Duran, probably a sell. I would assume 279 average against lefties, 310 average against righties, but his contact versus righties is already high. Do they boost his contact versus lefties with the 279 average? This is where he could see a bump where he might get a +1. However, 0 home runs versus lefties, 1 home run versus righties, 261 average with runner in scoring position, and he has 100 clutch, so that also might go down. So that's kind of where Jarren Duran's at. Now, Kyle Raleigh, that's what we're checking right now. So versus lefties, he's batting .409 versus lefties, and he's got 3 home runs with an ISO of 455. So he's got 3 home runs, an ISO of 455. Pretty good against lefties, but we already know he has got the power. .409 versus lefties, though, and he has 45 contact. That's where you're going to see a lot of boost. And what you see in this, he also has 22 at-bats versus lefties. That's a good sample size versus lefties, batting .409. Now, average against righties, 328. Make sure that's right. Sometimes you have to refresh this. 289. I had a feeling it was a little off. 289 average, which is still really good. And he has 8 home runs. 8 home runs versus righties since the last roster update. And then an ISO, I imagine, is probably pretty high. 556. Pretty good. 556 there. And now the big thing is, what is he doing with runners in scoring position? He is batting .333 with runners in scoring position. So 44 clutch, 45 contact versus lefties, 289 average against righties as well. You guys can make your decision. Do you guys think Kyle Raleigh goes up? Ryan O'Hearn is going to be next on our list, and then we'll start names from the chat once we're done with these players. First of all, I got to update his stats because these aren't his stats. Contact versus lefties is 54 at the moment. Power versus lefties is 35, 87 contact versus righties, and 78 power versus righties with 68 clutch. All right, now let's go take a look at him. Since the last roster update, so we got to change the year to 2025. Go over to May 21st, since that was a cutoff date, and here we are. Versus lefties, make sure this is updated correctly, 14 versus lefties. 0 home runs though, but I mean, he has 35 power, so we kind of come to expect that. So a 0 ISO, that's never good. And average versus righties, 412. Is that right? Wow. 412. I mean, he does hit well, but I mean, 87 contact, well, not that well. And then 2 home runs, and his ISO is 176, so not hitting for a lot of power, but he's batting .526 with runners in scoring position. How many at-bats was that? 19 at-bats. That's kind of crazy. .526 with runners in scoring position, batting .412 against righties, batting .313 against lefties, and those are his in-game contact and power and clutch numbers. So that's a very interesting one. I think he gets a +1 for sure, but does he get more? Maybe. All right, we got to update his stats. All right, next up is Sal Frelick, however you pronounce that name. 241 against lefties, so that's already not great. 241 against lefties, and he has 70 contact. That's not great. That's not what we want to see. 0 home runs. Doesn't have any power versus lefties anyway, so that's probably not going to be a big deal. ISO of 0.34. Hey, at least it's not 0. 0.34. Got some ISO in there. Average versus righties, though, 341. And he's also got 1 home run and an ISO of 0.73. Now, what could also save him would be the clutch, but I imagine his clutch is not going to be great. 353. I was standard corrected. 353 with runners in scoring position. So realistically, where could he see upgrades? Clutch, contact versus right, and that's probably it. He might even see a downgrade versus contact versus lefties. So realistically, he could see an upgrade to clutch and contact versus righties, but a downgrade to contact versus left. All right, next up is Julio Rodriguez. And he is like really close here. Really close. His power scares me, but we'll see what happens. Julio Rodriguez batting .300 against, that's a good start. 1 home run against lefties. That's bad. ISO of 150. I mean, it's better than what we've been seeing. Batting .308 against righties. That's good. 1 home run. That's bad. With an ISO of 115, 115. That's also bad. Guys kind of see a pattern here. Batting .278 with runners in scoring position. That's also not bad. That's actually pretty good with the 62 clutch. So where can he see improvements? I could say his clutch could go up. His contact versus righty could go up. His contact versus lefty can go up. But his power versus lefties and his power versus righties could both go down. So they could offset and he stays in an 84 overall, or these give him a slight boost and get him to diamond. He deserves diamond. He's a diamond caliber player. He's been diamond in past MLB The Shows. SDS kind of looks at like the past 2 or 3 years as well. So it's like a 50-50 toss up. Does SDS give him the love that he deserves, or do they shaft him because he's not hitting for power? All right, now let's take some hitters from the chat. Who has got any hitters? Austin Riley is not going up, so you know. While some of these names may be obvious for a lot of you, I will still do them. Next up is Kyle Swarmer. So we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more names that we're gonna do for hitters. And then we move on to pitchers. Kyle Swarmer, 176 against lefties. Not good. 2 homers with an ISO of 250. I think for the rest of the season, he's been pretty good against lefties, so that might not hurt him that bad. But that's still not good. 270 against righties. That's better than 46 contact. 1 home run. Where's this guy been since the last roster update? Definitely not hitting homers. 189 ISO. So the issue with Swarber already I could see is he has not hit for power since the end of May, pretty much. And he's batting .200 with runners in scoring position. So there you have it. 176 against lefties, 270 against righties. That could definitely see an increase. But then 200 with runners in scoring position. Who we picking? We're just going over names in the chat that people want to see stats for the roster update. We went over my investments, and now we're going like over some of chat's investments. That was a cool idea to do it this way, do it live. So figured I'd do it. It'll also be a YouTube video, and then I update my spreadsheet to include all the stats, so people can just look at the spreadsheet. If they missed the stream, they can just look at the spreadsheet for the stats, and it has a lot of stats of a lot of the players that that people are invested in, not just who I have. All right, next up is Seiya Suzuki. This is our first diamond lock of the video. Based off marketplace value on MLB The Show, it could be batting 300 against lefties, as expected, with 2 home runs, an ISO of 400. That's pretty good. Against righties, batting 289. See, I think that's better than 64 contact, with 2 home runs and an ISO of 244. And I feel like the big one with him might be the clutch. It might be like that might break him or hurt him. 263 with 90 clutch. That could go down. So clutch could see a decrease. Power versus righty could see a decrease. Contact versus righties, power versus lefties increase. Contact versus lefties stay the same. Next up, probably another diamond lock candidate in Jeremy Pena, batting 714 against lefties. Now, that's only in 7 at bats, but still impressive. With 1 home run, an ISO of 429, and against righties, batting 311 with 2 home runs and an ISO of 197. And he's batting 500 with runners in scoring position. Now, low sample size with runners in scoring position, low sample size with lefties. So might not see a crazy jump, if at all, with those 2 stats. 311 against righties, but he already has 82 contact, maybe. Only 2 home runs with an ISO of 197. Power could stay the same. Might see a slight increase or decrease, maybe. I don't know if he gets a +2. If they show him the love versus lefties, I say that he would get it. But with a small sample size, only 6 or 8 at bats or so, don't know if they show him the love or not. Same thing with runners in scoring position. They show him the love there. Then next on our list of hitters is Ellie De La Cruz. I don't even know why he's on the list, but people commented him. Here we are. Batting 130 against lefties. He kind of sucks against lefties anyway, so maybe that won't hurt him. 0 home runs. That's probably bad. ISO of 0.87. That's pretty bad. Versus righties, batting 389. Is that real? It is. 389 against righties with 4 home runs, an ISO of 417, and he's batting 400 with runners in scoring position. There is a chance he can get a +1, even with this terrible lefty stats. His contact versus lefties is already low. He could see a power versus lefty decrease, but he's batting 389 against righties with 4 home runs, with a 417 ISO, and batting with an average of 400 with runners in scoring position. He's not as bad as I thought he would be. He's not like crazy, but he's not terrible. Like, I don't think he goes down. I don't think he goes gold. So if you're getting him a quick sell, I don't see anything bad about that. He could sneak in a +1. You never know. All right, next up, Heliot Ramos. I said that name completely wrong, but that's okay. Batting 400 against lefties and 10 at bats. Not a big sample size there. 0 home runs, but I don't see his power going down off of 10 at bats, but it could, I guess. It could. Still makes you worried a little bit. 281 against righties with 3 homers, an ISO of 211, and batting 182 with runners in scoring position. 182, that's not good. 211, that's not great. 281, that's good. 400, that's good. Zeros, that's not good. All right, next up, Manny Machado. Very few diamond locks, but this could be one of them. Batting 240 against lefties, not great. 4 home runs, though. An ISO of 480 versus righties, batting 392 with 3 home runs and an ISO of 255. But batting 200 with runners in scoring position. 200 with runners in scoring position, not good, I'll be honest. 255 power versus righties. I kind of like that one. 392 average versus righties. I like that. 4 home runs against lefties. I like that. 240 average versus lefties. Don't like that. Kind of why I don't get into, like, man, he's so 50-50. Like, I think he's a diamond lock, but then I look at his stats and I'm like, I don't know. If you guys have missed any of this from the video, well, it's a video, but there is a link to the spreadsheet down in the description down below, so you have access to this all the time, and I update my investments live. So when I invest into a card, it goes into my spreadsheet so you know exactly when I have an investment in my binder and what day I invest in on it and what day I sell it. So if we take a look at all my investments, you will see any info, like he went the IL, so I sold him. He went ice cold, so I sold him. Went ice cold, but I didn't sell him. I don't really sell silvers. You'll see that I'll just hold silvers, whatever. You know, I'll take the loss on them. I'll basically let a silvers like marinate in my binder and hope they go gold some point this year. Maybe a fielding update makes them go gold, something like that. If they get hurt and I sold them, I let you know if they're risky investments. If I think they're risky investments, I let you guys know that. I let you know the date that I bought them and the date that I sold them, how much I paid for them, how much I have of them, how much the total buy-in is on them. And you'll see all this in red because I haven't sold something. So like, let's say Kim goes up to an 81 and he's 600 stubs. I would put 600 in there and then boom, I profit 57. My ROI is 130% profit. Boom, there it is. Now let's say I sell him on the marketplace. Let's say, you know, I think he's going to go to an 81, but he's selling in the marketplace for higher than that. Let's say he's selling for like 750. I would put 750 in there. It would deduct the tax for me. So I would get back 675. It does the tax for me. And there you go. Like all that stuff. Does all that for me. Easy stuff. All right, next up is Austin Riley. Why, I don't know, but lately he's been hitting. His average is good, but his power is not. I know that because he was one of my investments that I sold. Watch, I sold him though, so there's a chance he goes up, chat, because every time I sell one of my investments, they go up. So, you know, maybe I pushed good luck for him. I don't know. 250 against lefties, already not good, but not, I mean, it's not terrible. 1 home run, ISO of 188 against righties, 302, which I think is better than 79 contact, by the way. 2 home runs and an ISO of 208. So you guys, like I said, his power is what's kind of 273 with runners in the scoring position. Not bad. 273, that could go up. Power could go down. Contact could go up. Power could go down. Contact could remain the same. And there you have it. We just did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 names from chat for hitters. Now pitchers. All right, first name for pitchers, Framber Valdez. So he's got 10.2 Ks per 9, 3.3 walks per 9, which is not really good. You want that like below 2. Home run 0.4. That's pretty good. Now his hits per 9, we have to do a formula, all right? Because they don't just give us our hits per 9 the way we want it. So we have to take his hits, right, which is 11, divided by innings pitched, so 22. So 11 divided by 22, and then multiply that by 9 innings, and we get his hits per 9, so 4.5, which is actually not terrible. Not terrible at all. So hits per 9, he could get a boost there. Ks per 9, he could get a boost because he has low Ks per 9, and that's not bad for a starting pitcher. Home runs per 9 could get a boost. Walks per 9 probably stay the same. All right, next up is Dylan C. So 12.9 Ks per 9. That's not too bad. 3.1 walks per 9. Not great. 0.6 home runs, 18 hits, and 14.2 innings. That's where Dylan Cease is hurting himself. So you see Dylan Cease versus Framber Valdez. Hits per 9 are kind of killing him. So that's probably why Dylan Cease is not going up. And that's why his price is what it is. Unfortunately, he just needs to limit hits, and he probably would be a gold. He just needs to limit hits. And remember, guys, we are like a few days from the roster update. Most of these guys are not investable anymore. They're already at their peak price. This is just to give you an idea whether you should keep your investment, sell your investment, or hold it. All right, next up, Garrett Crochet, 13.3 Ks per 9. Highest of them yet. 2.2 walks per 9. That's pretty good. 1.1 home runs. I feel like that's kind of high, to be honest. 21 hits and 25 innings. So we would just replace these numbers with 21 and 25, which is not great. 7.56 on his hits. So like his hits per 9 could go down. His Ks per 9 can go up. I don't think he goes down to gold, personally, so he's a hold and a possible +1. Next up is Carlos Rodon, and he has a lot of room to improve. Now, whether he did it or not, who knows? I only had like 15 of him, So it's not really going to affect me either way. His price went up too high to where I didn't want to invest. Maybe I get some last minute, but I don't know. But 11.2 Ks per 9. He's already got like, oh no, not really. He doesn't have a lot. 75 Ks per 9. I wouldn't say that's a lot. Walks per 9, 2.2. He has 56 BB per 9. So that could definitely go up. Home runs per 9, 0.7. He has 54 home runs per 9. So those attributes I could definitely see getting an increase. I think all three of those could get an increase in my opinion. Now his hits, 15 hits in 25 innings pitched. I mean, his hits per 9 are already high, right? But watch this stat, 15 hits in 25 innings. So 15, 25 innings, 5.40. Framber's still better. So if 5.4 gives you an 88 hits per 9, what does 4.5 give you? Kind of gives you an idea of what Framber could go to, or like why he deserves such an increase versus these stats. Very interesting. Just wanted to point that one out. I sell Jake. Jubic's probably a 84, or he could be a hold for a future diamond. You want to wait longer. I mean, I sold him when he went up to like I got him when he was a silver. I sold him when he went to an 82 for 900. Boy, do I wish I would have held him. All right, next up is Max Fried, 8.3 Ks per 9. Already the lowest that we've seen, but he also only has 59 Ks per 9. So he's not a strikeout type of guy. 1.5 walks per 9, which is probably the lowest we've seen so far. So that's really good. 1 home run per 9, not the greatest, especially when you have high home runs per 9. I would not consider that good. 15 hits in 18.1 innings. So 7.46 is going to be his hits per 9. So that's where Max Fried, he downgrade, upgrade, maybe downgrade, upgrade, very fringe. All right, we got Tommy up next, a relief pitcher. So I expect these Ks per 9 to be super high. 5.0, absolutely trash. Relievers are supposed to have like 13, 14 Ks per 9. 1 walk per 9 is good though. I mean, I guess 5 Ks per 9, even with a 68 Ks per 9 is just not good. And 0 home runs allowed. Now, how many innings has he pitched though? 4 hits in 9 innings. Hasn't pitched a lot. So the small sample size is going to hurt him. We're at like a 4 hits per 9 for a 107 hits per 9. I don't think that's great either. All right, Chris Sale, 12.1 Ks per 9, 0.3 home runs, 3.5 walks per 9. That's not good. 14 hits in 26 innings. That I know is good. 4.85 hits per 9. That's solid. I mean, could go up. He could go up. I don't think he's going to go down. So that's a good sign. They're not going to go down. That's always a good sign to hold. But it is SDS, so you never know. Next up, Christopher Sanchez. One of my investments that just not working out. But that's okay. Let's look at him. 9.3 Ks per 9. Not great, but think about it. He has 64 Ks per 9. That's probably pretty good. 0.4 home runs per 9. See, I really think he could be sneaky. He only needs a +2 here. He only needs a +2. 4.2 walks per 9. That's where it's hurt him. If he didn't have 4.2 walks per 9, he probably goes gold. I think the walks per 9 keeps him from going gold, sadly. 25 hits in 23 innings. That's also going to keep him from going gold. 23 hits and what was it? 25 hits and 23.1 innings. Okay. So a 9.74. That is not ideal. Next up is Drew Rasmussen. Now he was on track to go diamond, but I think his last start might have ruined it. We'll see. 7.4 Ks per 9. He has 59 Ks per 9, so a low K per 9 is not, detrimental, or whatever you want to call it. 1.6 walks per 9. Home runs per 9, 0. Now his hits per 9. 12 hits in 23 innings. That's pretty good. I mean, he still has a chance, Chet. I mean, realistically, 12 hits in 23 innings, he still has a chance to go diamond. He needs a +2. Does he get it? Those are decent stats. Might not be a bad one to invest on. He's 1,900 stubs. That's not terrible. That's a 33% ROI, return on investment, 3 days from the roster update. That's not terrible. If he goes diamond, though, he has to get a +2. Otherwise, you got to hold him and hope that he continues to do well, because if he does bad, then you lose stubs. But he's not terrible. Next up is Gabe Spear. 14.3 Ks per 9. 3.2 walks per 9. Not great. 0 home runs allowed. Amazing. In 5.2 innings. Doesn't have a lot of innings under their belt. 4 hits in 5.2 is not that good. That's a 6.92 hits per 9. Ks per 9, good. 0 home runs, good. 3.2 walks per 9, not good. 6.92 hits per 9, not good. Kind of not great. All right. Next up is Chris Bubic. And a funny story about this guy is I invested and I told my community to invest in this guy when he was a 76 or 77 overall because they upgraded him to be a starting pitcher, but they forgot to upgrade his stamina. So he still had like 25, 30 stamina, but was a starting pitcher. So we knew that when they finally updated his stamina, he would go gold. And then he pitched amazing. So then he just keeps on upgrading, right? So I kind of wish I didn't sell like my 800 or 900 Chris Bubics because we got him for like under 200 or under 300 stubs a piece. And it's funny because the one of the roster updates, they didn't even touch him. He was pitching like crazy. Like he had 14 Ks per 9. He had like 0 walks allowed, and they didn't upgrade him at all. They didn't even touch him. And I think they were thinking in their head, oh, we want him to get rid of his Chris Bubic so he doesn't make too many stubs. Well, guess what, SDS? I kept him anyways, and I forced your hand to upgrade him, and I made $1.8 million just on Chris Bubic. Thank you very much. You thought you could outlast me, but you couldn't outlast me. I'll hold him forever. I don't get rid of silvers, remember? Well, I wish I would have still had him, to be honest, because he's probably going to go up again. Does he go diamond? Probably not. But he has an 82, 11.6 Ks per 9, and his Ks per 9 are still a 67. You love to see it. 2.6 walks per 9. Those probably stay the same. That's not too bad at all. 0 home runs allowed. Now his hits, what are they? 6 hits allowed in 14 innings. Pretty good. 6 hits allowed, 14 innings. That's pretty good. And that's the lowest hits per 9 of anyone on this list so far. Like I said, he's been pitching like crazy, lights out. So yeah, I think he goes 84 if I were to take a guess. He could go diamond. Future hold for diamond possibly. But yeah, that's a funny story is we invested in him. We told our community to buy him up because we knew he was going to go gold when they boosted his stamina. And then they didn't touch him at all in the next roster update. And I think that was supposed to like make everyone who invested in him scared and sell him off. Instead, we held him anyways, and then he still goes gold. Oh man, I'll never forget that. I know they did it on purpose. They thought they were going to fool me. They didn't fool me. They got outplayed by the master of roster updates. I mean, I'm not the master, but I'm definitely smarter than that. That's for sure. The master would memorize all these stats. And the last name of this video. So this video, we've been recording for over an hour. So hopefully this video gets some love. If not, that's okay. It was still fun to do. I don't know how many names we did, but we went over a lot of names and we got into detail of all their stats. So you can come back to it, look at their stats, and then decide for yourself what do you think they're going to do. Are they going to go up or down? But the last name is Mackenzie Gore, because I know he's going to go up. So I figured, why not throw him on here? 11.4 Ks per 9. Home runs, 0 allowed, and he has 55 home runs per 9. Walks, 1.9, and he has 67 walks per 9. Now, comes down to his hits. 9 hits allowed, 19 innings. He might be better than Chris. 9 hits and 19 innings. Nope. Chris still beats him. So Chris has the best hits per 9 of every pitcher that we went through. But a 4.26 hits per 9 with 59 hits per 9 in game, that's pretty good. 11.4 Ks per 9, that's pretty good. 0 home runs allowed, that's pretty good. 1.9 walks per 9, that's pretty good. So all his stats are like going up, right? So Mackenzie Gore realistically could probably go +3 to an 83, I would assume, or a long-term hold for diamond. Like he's projected a +2, I would say, at the based off of his market value, but realistically he could probably go +3 in this update. We'll have to see what happens. But let me know what you guys think or any investments and stats down below. If you guys tell me an investment in the comment section, be sure you guys find their stats for me. Let me see their stats like I showed you guys. But anyways, be sure you guys like and subscribe on today's video. Turn those notifications on so you guys get notified when every video goes live. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is the first video I've done like this. So if you want to see this again, be sure to like the video, leave a comment, show some love, because it took me forever to make this video. Let's count the names. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 names. And we went over all of their stats since the last roster update. That is pretty insane. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.